We do have another legislature that was quoted as saying that some of the things included in that bill came new to them, as if they were inserted by some of their colleagues in the Green Chamber. So there's a possibility, is there a possibility that some of the lawmakers might not have seen some of the amendments made by the lower chamber?
You know, I'm not sure. I think they didn't quite pay attention. Again, as I said, it's another section.
Because what he talked about was immunity for lawmakers, and apparently they do not. That is something that even if Nigerians knew, because here we are.
Again, with profound respect.
Yes.
I've seen that section. Those who inserted that have not addressed the state of our law. All they are trying to say is not immunity for all purposes. Is to say that whatever statements we make in Parliament, right, is privilege. We have a law on that, legislative powers, you know.
But don't they have that already? Why do they have to put it in the Constitution?
Saying, this is what I'm saying, they were not properly guided, with profound respect. There is even one on procedure of our court. Oh, in all cases, there shall be no stay of proceedings. That is a matter for procedure. It's not for the Constitution. That is already entrenched in the Administration of Justice Bill that has been passed by the National
Okay, now let's look at these other reservations about, trying to whittle down the powers of the president, where you say you do not need the signature of the president in a constitution amendment. Is that also something that should give you concern or give us concern?
My own idea. Where you have a democratic government, I mean, where you have respect for the people, constitutions are not passed this way. It's not the business of the National Assembly and the president to just agree and then amend the constitution of a country. You must take it to a referendum. It must have the imprimatur of the people. You don't want that. The National Assembly has even said, it's even saying, or the members are saying, we do not even want the president, who has been elected by the people, to have a say with respect to the amendment of the Constitution. They are now saying they can amend the Constitution alone. I don't understand.
Because they feel they are representing the people. Is that not the right position?
No, it's not the right position.
No, is that not the right position for them?
Because you see, constitutions are not like regular laws of a country. It's a ground norm of a country.
In any case, there's
and
already...
if you are going to amend it,
Mr.
you must go back to the people.
Mr. Falana, in any case, there's already a provision in the Constitution that gives them the powers to override the president's veto.
Oh, yes, yes. Yes.
So that clause,
so
the clause there in this amendment, taking the powers off the president, shouldn't even come in the first place.
No, what they are saying completely is that once we have amended, the president has no hand in it. That's trying to amend Section 9 of the Constitution.
Well, isn't it also coming from experience? Because if you look at what happened before during the end of President Obasanjo's regime, when they could not get the constitution amendments that they had done signed, and now it was said that even
it's not about having it signed. It was killed by the National Assembly because of the third-term agenda. Again, painfully, the National Assembly on that occasion threw away the baby
with the bathwater.
With the bathwater.
Yeah, but
unfortunately, and we wasted all the funds.
Oh yes, we did. And again, it was seen that that is what we run the danger of doing again, because if something is not done about this, we could also be throwing everything away.
I'm convinced that if the National Assembly can persuade the Supreme Court to vacate the order it has made, I'm sure they can still muster the majority. I mean, they can still amend it.
Do you sense, just a moment, Nyota, do you sense any political undertones in all of this? Because you say that this should have been a case of maturity where the president could have drawn the attention of the lawmakers to what was happening, his reservations on the amendments. And that
well, I want to believe, like many actions of the president now, that he's not happy with the fact that he lost the election. And for that reason, what is my business with amending the Constitution? I think that is...
Well, he's been commended because they say that since he had absolutely nothing to profit from this, at least not now, he could have signed it and whittled down the powers of the office of the president.
No, I think he's also being very careful that, well, I'm no longer going to waste my time over these matters. Let the next president take care of all these problems. You know, I'm just guessing. You know. But if you look at the reasons profiled by the president, the National Assembly has failed to join issues with the president. And I find that disturbing. If you are being told that here you have amended sections 8, 9, and chapter 4 that require 4/5 majority of your members, you know, a resolution of 4/5 majority, you are silent on that. You are being told that you should not have taken this question of free primary education to chapter 4. You are not saying anything about that. You are granting immunity to yourselves. You are granting pension for life. Right? To your members, I mean, your leaders, including one of them, barely 40 this year. One spent 6 months as a speaker. Now you want this country to pay pension for life to such people. It's not done anywhere in the world. Because the business of the National Assembly, as I've repeatedly maintained, is part-time. Because the Constitution says they shall sit for not less than 181 days in a year. That's 6 months. It's not like the job of the president or the governor of a state. That is full-time. So why must a nation spend so colossally on a part-time assignment, as we are doing now? In the Second Republic, there were lawyers in the legislature. The late Senator Abraham Adesoya, the late Chief Debo Akode, who were meeting in court in Lagos. And they would go to sit in parliament at the end of their assignment in court. But now it's full-time. When they are not busy in the parliament, they are inspecting everything under, what do you call it now? Oversight, whenever they go outside the country, you know. And you don't have legislators in other parts of the world coming to Nigeria every day, as they do now. I was one of the Secretary General of the African Bar Association. The president then, the late Peter Ala Ajete, a Ghanaian, was the Speaker of the Ghanaian Parliament, National Parliament. And every time he would insist, Femi, fix our meeting for a weekend. And one day I asked him, why do we meet on weekends? He said, no, I am the Speaker of the Parliament of Ghana. I cannot afford to hold meetings on weekdays. And I was flabbergasted. He said, that is my private business that I'm Speaker. I mean, that I'm President of African Bar Association. My primary assignment, you know, my primary duty to the people of Ghana, which I cannot play with, is to sit in parliament, Monday to Friday. But here, he has brought honor to Nigeria. He can go all over the world.